Well, hey, Lakeview family and friends, it's Pastor Evan here bringing you today's dose of Midweek Medicine. You know, this COVID-19 moment, it touches different aspects of our humanity. And one experience that I believe the Lord wanted to speak to was that of loneliness. You know, this has been an isolating time for many. We're all keeping our distance in unique ways right now. But for our singles and for our seniors in particular, you're finding yourselves alone right now. And maybe you've been scrolling through pictures of families getting together, doing fun things, doing a game night, taking the time to invest in their relationships. You know, grandparents might be looking at videos of your grandchildren and just longing to be able to give them a hug right now. Others might be in quarantine because you've had symptoms, and maybe you're stuck in one room of your house and family members are bringing food outside of your door like it's some kind of prison meal for you. Well, there's something about the ministry of Jesus that warrants our attention. I think he wants us to see something of his heart. And that's in Mark chapter 1 in verse 40. Mark 1 verse 40 says, "And a leper came to him, imploring him, and kneeling said to him, 'If you will, you can make me clean.'" Now, leprosy in biblical times, it referred to a variety of skin conditions and diseases and wasn't necessarily the modern day Hansen's disease, which isn't overly contagious actually. But there were all kinds of regulations for how lepers were to keep themselves at a distance. It's actually remarkable how the Old Testament law, before we knew social distancing was a concept, had all this right here. But in addition to needing to live away from your community and maybe away from your family and your friends, there was also a shame of being considered unclean that they would experience as well. But this man hears that Jesus is in town and he comes to him. He says, "If you will, you can make me clean." And says, moved with pity, Jesus stretched out his hand and touched him and said to him, "I will be clean." I mean, think about this. And another healing that Jesus does, he just says the word and sends the man on his way and tells him that his servant will be well. He doesn't need to come into contact with this man, but he touches him. And maybe this was the first time this man had felt the experience of human touch in who knows how long. We see something about Jesus' heart here. But if you keep reading, it's striking how this unfolds. "And immediately the leprosy left him, and he was made clean." You know, Jesus is the one person who can come into contact with our diseases and illnesses and even our sin, and instead of himself becoming infected, he removes it from us. "And Jesus sternly charged him and sent him away at once, and said to him, 'See that you say nothing to anyone, but go, show yourself to the priest, and offer for your cleansing what Moses commanded for a proof to them.' But he went out and began to talk freely about it and to spread the news, so that Jesus could no longer openly enter a town, but was out in desolate places, and people were coming to him from every quarter." By the end of the story, these two people have traded places. This man is able to return home and go free, but he doesn't really follow Jesus' instructions here. And as a result, Jesus is the one who is now wandering outside of the town in desolate places, taking the place of the isolated. Sense this about his heart. He has come into contact with our need. He draws near to touch and to minister to us in our condition. And he takes our place. You know, we saw this on Sunday morning. Jesus has walked in our humanity. He has experienced all of our sorrows. He knows what we are going through. And if you are alone right now, you are not alone. because he is with you, and this same heart that is revealed in this encounter is drawing near to you in this moment. We love you. We so miss getting to be with you and are looking forward to that day when we can be together again. But we are praying for you, whether you are in a home with a family or if you are by yourself. The Lord is near to you, and you have our prayers as well. We'll see you at the next dose of Midweek Medicine.